Holly, it's just about time. Are you guys ready on your end?
We'll try not to go Bill.
I'm sorry, Dave, what did you say?
It's now 10:30. We'll call the meeting to order. Can you conduct roll call, Holly?
Yes. Wendy Hess. Bridget Edson.
Bridget Edson, present, representing EMS.
Mindy Benson.
Mindy Benson, present, representing Iowa Emergency Management Association.
Michelle Bischoff. Curtis Lowton.
Present, representing volunteer fire departments.
David Ness.
Present, Municipal Police from Des Moines.
Dan Schaefer.
Present, Municipal Police.
Dan Sink.
Present, Sheriff's Offices.
Rhonda Broaddus. Present. Haley Nichols.
President, representing Iowa Law Enforcement Academy.
Cindy Height.
Present, representing Iowa Department of Health and Human Services.
Daniel Brown.
Present. I'm from the Iowa DOT.
Michael Strausser. Keith Hove.
Present. Iowa Department of Public Safety.
Patrick Updike. Blake Derucci.
President, Iowa Homeland Security and Emergency Management 911 Program Manager.
And Jessica Turber.
Present, Iowa CIO.
And we do have a quorum.
Wendy Hess is here now.
Okay.
As is Michelle Bischoff.
Okay, thank you. I've got you down.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for making time in your schedules to participate today. A special welcome to Daniel Brown, new representative from Iowa DOT, taking the place of Peter Huffman as the DOT representative on the board. Daniel, this was not announced in advance, but do you want to, you have a couple opening remarks or a brief bio, or tell us something about yourself?
I don't. I guess from my perspective, this is going to be fairly alien to me. I'm not on the communication side. I'm on the more IT infrastructure side. So I've been the director for the enterprise infrastructure, if you will, for the DOT for the last 4 years. So communications is kind of a new zone here for me. I'm learning quickly, hopefully. I don't know how long I'll be in the role. Probably up to Bill ultimately, so I guess we'll get that figured out. And yeah.
Well, welcome again, and thanks for your participation. I'll entertain a motion to approve today's agenda.
Hank will make that motion.
Michelle will second.
I heard a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I'll entertain a motion for the meeting minutes from August 11th.
Vote to move.
Nichols, second.
Got a first and a second. Any further discussion? Signify support by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the SWIC report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is Wally. I'll be giving the SWIC report again this month. It's fairly short. The TICP, or the Tactical Interoperability Communications Plan, was a project that we had asked CISA to assist with, and that started a little over a year ago. We are nearing the final stages, verifying some FCC information with respect to interoperability repeaters that may be positioned throughout Iowa. I want to make sure that information is accurate, and so once version 1 hits the streets officially, we've got accurate info. So hopefully by before the end of the year, should have that wrapped up. I don't have. There's a couple of, and I can chime in when we get to the various committees that we don't have updates on. But one of the areas I do is for the training committee and the upcoming trainings. So the fall COM-L class slated for at WestCom in West Des Moines, Iowa, will start Monday, September 26th, running through the close of business on Thursday, September 29th. We have 13 rather registered. It may end up being 12. I did get notification one attendee may not be able to attend. But there is still plenty of room. That course can support up to 30. So if there's anyone else that you want to get in the course, the job form link is still active, and or they can reach out directly to me, and I can help do the verification of the prerequisites, and we'll get you on the roster. So and then the fall COMEX is scheduled for Tuesday, October 25th and Wednesday, October 26th at Union County Emergency Management in Preston, Iowa. And I believe we have 8 persons signed up for that at this time. So more to come on that. And that concludes my report, sir.
All right, thank you. User Group Committee. Yeah, I'm sorry, Blake. I missed 911 Council report. Blake DeRushi.
It's okay. You wouldn't have missed much. There's not a lot to report out on today. Just a reminder, the 911 Council meets prior to this. Those meetings are recorded, so if you're interested, you can go to the our website or the YouTube page and watch that meeting. If there's still anyone interested in the 6 or 7 hour PSAP leadership training that is being held next week, at this point registration is closed, but you are still able to participate. If you get in touch with me, I can add you to the list. Again, that was a training that we developed kind of for PSAP supervisors or leadership at the PSAP to there's a gap within the how 911 works in Iowa, kind of the call flow process and everything that goes into service boards and financials and everything like that. So if you're interested in that, get in touch with me. We are planning to offer that twice a year, so there'll be another opportunity probably at the beginning of 2023. One thing I want to remind folks of, it's just been a little bit since I've done this and reminded of this funding availability. The 911 Council does have $100,000 annually for what we call over-the-top type training. So if there is training that you want to bring in, open the doors up to multiple centers and host it here in Iowa, that funding is available. It just needs to be requested through the 911 Council in our office. We approved a couple of those today. There's another one already on the agenda for October. But it seems like people might have forgotten about that over the last couple of years with COVID and everything else going on. So if you are interested in that funding, let me know. I can get you the application and get you any rules or policies that we have around that funding. That concludes my brief, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And now we're on to Vice Chair Dennert and the User Group Committee.
Good morning. The User Group Committee met back on August 18th. Quite a good discussion about, it was particularly about RAGBRAI and the communications supporting RAGBRAI, which led into a conversation about after action reports, and that the compilation of at least comments and discoveries, strengths and weaknesses following communications, either planned events or even live incidents, that we talked that there doesn't seem to be a lot of that very formally done. We do it in RIC 1, which we've shared with the other RICs. I think the other RICs are interested in doing that, and ultimately with the RICs reporting up to the UGC, I think they'll make it there. But I'm just wondering if that's not a topic that the board may want to consider at some point, that we have a lot of events and incidents that occur. There's a lot of good things that are talked about, whether they've gone well or not so well. It sure seems like there should be a mechanism to share that information so that others aren't doomed to repeat the same mistakes that others are. Beyond that, though, we did consider 3 applications that will be considered later on the agenda.
Thank you for that report. Deputy Swick-Walzer, back to you for finance.
Nothing to report. I'm not sure finance even had their meeting, so I don't have anything I can offer you. Wait, are you steering the projector? I'm not.
That's me.
Yes. Oh, hi, Holly. So Holly does have the balance sheet up for viewing, and it is available here on site as well.
All right. Anything for governance, Wally?
No, I do not believe they met. I believe that was on the holiday.
And Operations Committee, Chair Bischoff.
Yes, the Operations Committee did not meet due to lack of hours in the day, or week, or month. So we will meet again in October.
All right, thank you. And I didn't notice if Mr. Johansson's on for the Outreach Committee report.
Mr. Chair, he's not. This is Heath. They did not meet last month as well. There were some other projects going on that they had to take care of, but they plan on meeting in September, later this month.
Thank you for pinch hitting there, Heath. And Training Committee, Chair Nichols.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. We met on August 24th, and Deputy Swick has also already talked about the ComAl and ComEx coming up, which was briefly discussed. And then we spent the rest of the time working on the script for our pursuit module standard 14.1, I believe it is. Aaron Froning is going to record that, and we are moving along in that process. So next month we will probably have some actual training to listen to and make any edits to that. Just to remind everyone, we generally meet on the 4th Wednesday at 11 o'clock, if anybody wants to join. And our next meeting is scheduled for September 28th. And that's all I have, unless there are questions.
Thank you for meeting and for sharing your report. Chair Updike reported he was unable to participate today due to obligations at his work. And I don't believe the Technology Committee was able to meet either over the last month. So we'll jump to item 15, the FirstNet Broadband Committee with Chair Bischoff.
I guess the FirstNet Committee meets next week. So nothing new to report.
All right, thank you. Any information sharing among board members? Hearing only static, we'll go on to the Essex System Admin Report. If Connie or Scott can present that.
Yes, this is Scott. I'll start off with the maintenance. The Essex system has been undergoing HVAC and generator maintenance over the course of the summer. That is scheduled to wrap up late next week. Following that, Motorola is working on the schedule for RF preventative maintenance at all the sites. That schedule has yet to be determined at this point. The Jones site is awaiting final ODU replacement for secondary microwave links. That is resultant of a lightning strike in late June. The site is operational at this point, and Motorola attempted repairs yesterday. They had some hardware issues and need to return to the site to complete repairs on that. The Sioux microwave site has a generator that is damaged from rodents. That is awaiting parts. However, we are scheduled to have a temporary generator on site
permanent generator. The ISICSB website, all links are believed to be operational at this point. However, if anyone notices any issues with the ISICSB website, please report them to the ISICSB NOC email address, and we can get that addressed. The ISICSB numbers from August 2022, radios, we have now topped 30,000 and are sitting at 30,059 radios, up 366 from July. Talk groups are at 2,822, that's up 30. And push to talks for last month were 2,581,838, and that's up 75,963 from July. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for that thorough report. We'll jump ahead to FirstNet Authority. I think I saw, I'm not sure about John, and I definitely saw Tyler. Go ahead, FirstNet, guys.
Good morning, everyone. This is Tyler Richard from AT&T. I have a couple of updates regarding network build-out since our last meeting. We had several new sites that came online. One site north of Waverly in Plainfield, one site northwest of Muscatine near Iolissa and Moscow, one new site north of Davenport and DeWitt, and then one new site southwest of Des Moines along I-92 between Greenfield and Intersect. So a couple of crucial ones in there, filling some remaining gaps in Iowa's network. That is all I have.
Hearing no questions, we'll move on to John Olson, if you're able to speak.
John let me know he has no update from the Network Authority.
All right, thank you. Chris Myers was unable to make it today. He had training that kept him from participating. Wally, were you planning to present anything on his behalf?
Actually, Blake did a fabulous job at the previous meeting, and he's got his computer online and ready to go, sir, if he wants to take over.
Super, thank you.
Sorry, there are some slides for this as well. I'm not signed into the webinar, so you'll just have to kind of go with my verbal briefing here. Maybe with the minutes or something, you can get the slides attached. You got it? Sweet, thank you. Make me a presenter, I guess. Thank you.
You want me to make you presenter?
Yeah, sure.
All right, again, this is on behalf of Chris and SISA. Update on the new NIFOG, if you can go to the next slide. This has been a long anticipated product. The new NIFOG is available for download and also installation as an app on iPhones and Android devices. In addition, hard copies are currently being printed and will be distributed to SWCS, emergency communications coordinators, and students of any of the various communications unit course students. For the initial print, SISA headquarters has received their batch, and 100 will be sent out to each SWCS initially. More information is available on SISA's website. There was a recent private industry notification released regarding telephony denial of service attacks on communication centers. It is available for 911 administrators and other key partners. If you have not received it, please reach out to Chris. A new product entitled Preparing Critical Infrastructure for Post-Quantum Cryptography that gives an overview of the potential impacts from quantum computing to national critical functions. It raises awareness of the potential impacts of quantum computing and makes some initial recommendations. As a reminder, the work Iowa has recently done with encryption will stand the test of time through this transition for years. The CISA R&D demonstration series webinars are available for attendance now and feature 9 30-minute webinars that focus on reducing cyber vulnerabilities and addressing some interoperability challenges. Editorial comments from Blake, the 911 administrator. These are relatively good. I've watched one or two of them. There's varying topics, so maybe pick and choose which one are relative to you, which ones look interesting, and go ahead and sit through them. I think it's time well spent on those webinars. Work on the SafeCom nationwide survey is wrapping up. Questions are under review. Once this is released for stakeholder response, it is highly encouraged that everyone fill this out. It is the baseline for a lot of work done at a national level. Bipartisan infrastructure grants are live as of September 2nd. The state and local cybersecurity grant program makes available federal funds to state, local, and tribal governments to address cybersecurity risks and cybersecurity threats to information systems that they own or operate. Eligible uses include develop and revise cybersecurity plans, implementing elements of the cybersecurity plans, addressing imminent cybersecurity threats, and other appropriate activity determined by the DHS as a director. There are some vulnerabilities recently discovered within the emergency alert system. CISA Vulnerability Management reviewed the scan data and identified internet-facing entities that may be vulnerable. CISA contacted those specific organizations so they could address the issues. As a reminder, to minimize your risk for any system like this, you can install updates and security patches, change default passwords, and never allow direct access to the internet on critical systems such as EAS. That concludes Chris's presentation. If you have any questions, please contact him at the information on the screen.
Thanks, Blake.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, that was a team effort. Thank you. Standards Working Group, Wally?
Nothing to report. I was not on the meeting. I don't, do we know if that colleague, was there anything? Okay. No, so I think that one's, I think that'll have to be looked upon to regain some traction, especially once we get a SWIC in place. Otherwise, I don't have an update for you.
All right, thank you. And Blake, anything new on the information sharing framework?
Nothing new. I think the future CAD-to-CAD interoperability group the future meetings have been pushed off till November to let other things kind of fall into line. So no real update.
Okay, we're making good time on the agenda today. I don't see any old business, so I guess we'll jump to the new. And Vice Chair Dennert with the approval of 4 new ISICS users.
The user group considered 4 applications, 1 from Blackhawk County at level 2, and 3 electrical cooperatives, Consumers Electric, Northwest Iowa Power Cooperative, and Osceola Electric Cooperative, all also level 2 applicants. The user group considered them. Loading has been analyzed, and the user group does recommend approval of them.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for that.
Chief will motion.
I heard a couple at least. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed. We're at public comment. Heath, I don't think you were able to attend last month, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I also want to invite you to make any comments. I think Captain did in your behalf last time. If there's any new updates for the participants on the call today that they would benefit from the Governor's School Safety Initiative that you're working closely with. Anything from you or the captain on that?
I think at last count, the radios that have been ordered were over 700.
I haven't updated numbers for that.
Yeah, I'm getting a number right now.
As of 10:30, we had 856 orders. 93 of the orders that were submitted were not eligible. 702 have been sent for processing for the manufacturer. We have a total of $3,354,511 worth of radios have been ordered.
And Captain, can you share on those that were not eligible? Just, I think some people are still working through the process. Is there something that was sought and that is not eligible, or just so others don't make the same mistake?
We've had several administrative offices make submissions for school safety radios, and administrative offices themselves are not eligible. We've had fitness centers associated with the school make submissions. We've also had some schools that make submissions that, according to the DOE, are not accredited schools in Iowa, and apparently you have to be an accredited school in Iowa as well, which, you know, there's some schools that are not, that don't fall in that category. So, but the majority of those have been administrative offices making requests.
Generally speaking, schools at every level, if they're accredited through the state of Iowa, are eligible.
Yes, yes. If they're an elementary, middle school, high school, and you can even have like a pre-K school. If they're all in like one massive complex and they're all connected and have separate entrances, and they're all eligible for a radio. Yes. Yes. That's, if they're separate schools, they're eligible for a radio. But as long as they're accredited schools, they can get the radio.
All right, thank you. Any additional questions while we've got Captain Pierce on this topic, or we'd open it up to additional public comment?
Excuse me, Chair, can I ask Captain one question?
Sure.
Yes.
Just to clarify, that's up to 12th grade. Community colleges and universities do not qualify, is that correct?
That is correct. Community colleges, universities, private colleges are not eligible.
Thank you.
Just for K through 12 schools.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other comments for the good of the group? Thanks everybody for your participation, and we'll talk to you either in committee meetings or at the board meeting next month. Meeting's adjourned.
Did you go to